thank you for looking after my son.
I'm not a hero. We're brothers. We look after each other.
I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me.
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. This movie kind of hit me right here. Changed my perspective a lot on this issue. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey guys, thank you very much for tuning in to my opinion/review. Thank you for your service. I really do appreciate it. But before I get into the review, help your boy out, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also click the bell so you can be notified when I make uploads, and also give me that thumbs up. Let's see if we can get this video to 100 likes. Now we have thank you for your service. And I believe I said this, what I'm about to say, in another movie I reviewed recently, but the title for this movie was absolutely perfect. And what it deals with, this is not a war film, a war-driven film. Of course, it does have war in it, and that is a prominent force in the background. But this movie is based on a true story and deals with the soldiers coming back home, trying to integrate in their normal civilian lives after they have been in war fighting overseas, for this country or whatever. And, when things like that happen, that a lot of soldiers have to deal with PTSD, and that is the driving force of this entire movie. It is being directed by Mr. Jason Hall. This is his directorial debut. He's a known actor. He's been in about, I think he had like 14 acting credits. His last movie was in 2014, American Sniper. He was playing a character by the name of Cowboy, and that movie was directed by Clint Eastwood. I remember Clint Eastwood saying he was going to retire a long time ago, whatever, but he's still making films or whatnot. But Jason Hall is the director of this movie, and he did a pretty good job. I'll say a decent job. This stars Miles Teller. We all know that Miles Teller can, act his behind off. He's a great actor, phenomenal actor. I loved him in War Dogs, which I saw, was that last year or earlier this year? He also did Whiplash, which came out 3 years ago. That movie was off the chain. Like, oh my freaking goodness. If you have not seen Whiplash, you need to see it. You are hurting yourself. You are missing out on a treat, on a true gem. I mean, that dude was beating the hell out of them drums or whatever. I mean, like, Whiplash had one of the best endings of a movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, seriously, when that movie was over, I was like, oh yes, 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 yes. And so sorry for the clapping noise or whatever, all the popping or whatever with me clapping, but I just had to, belabor a point or whatever. So Miles Teller is great in this movie. There's this other guy in this movie. I've never heard of him before, and I had to write his name down because it's Bela Kohli. In the movie, he was saying that he was like from the South Pacific Islander. It's spelled Beulah. Last name Koale. Maybe I should have looked up the pronunciation. He was a character in this movie named Solo. Now, Miles Teller did a phenomenal job of acting in this movie. But this guy right here, Mr. Solo Bela Kohli, man, hold up. Like, the acting by him was just like so breathtaking. I was truly convinced. And before I talk more about his acting, let me set up the context for you. The film starts off briefly, and they're overseas in Iraq fighting. The crap hits the fan. They come back, and they think they're just going to live their normal lives, and they're just trying to live their normal lives. And it's just a lot harder than they think. And it's like these three guys, Miles Teller, Solo, Bela Kohli, and then this other gentleman that I didn't look up. And they're three good friends or whatever. And, they had this scene at the bar that really spoke volumes to me because I can see, they're just chilling at the bar, just trying to get a beer, eat some nachos or whatever, whatever people eat at bars. I don't go to bars. I used to go to clubs all the time, but I ain't been out. Like, I probably go out like once a year or whatever. But it's just guys just shooting the shit or whatever, just having a good time. And like, this song drops or whatever, and they're just dancing and acting crazy or whatever. And I'm just like, I respect that. I can feel that or whatever. So the film really does do a great job of, helping you relate to the characters or whatever, because we all got our homeboys and homegirls or whatever, and sometimes when we get together we like to act silly and turn up or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And they did a great job there. The film also did a great job of putting you in the soldiers' shoes or whatever. I don't mean any disrespect to all the men and women out there that are veterans and that have fought for their country and whatnot. And I don't mean to assume that I have any remotely clue idea of what you guys have gone through or whatever. But even at the very beginning of the film, even in the action and when they got home, you really do get a true sense of what these guys and men and women are going through mentally, like on all fronts, and it's just crazy. And there's this one scene I was talking about, Kawalu's acting, where he is in the mall or whatever. He's just trying to have a normal day with his wife or whatever, and the PTSD is just kicking in or whatever, and he's having, like, if you don't know, like, anything when soldiers go through that, when they come back or whatever, any small little thing can just set them off and they go crazy. And it's not their fault. No judgment or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody could just be like tapping something like a pen or something on the table. I don't know if y'all can hear that or whatever. And then they can just think that's gunshots and jump under a table and just start running or whatever, or swing on a loved one or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And like, this is what this whole movie is about. But there was a scene where Koala was at the mall and his wife was trying to help him out or whatever. And like, the look and expression on his face, I was just like truly like, whoa, like really mesmerized, because he was really selling it. He was really driving it home, and it was not even any dialogue. Like, he just had like a look on his face of just like frustration and fear and just like, please, somebody help me, with no words. I mean, the way he was batting his eyes and like twitching the muscles in his face and looking left and right, I really felt sorry for the guy. I was like, damn, man, it's like, this is crazy. And like, it's not a gory movie. And there's a bit of gore towards the very beginning and the end. It's not nothing to make you throw up or anything like that. But man, I forgot what I was about to say. What the hell was I about to say? Oh, wait a minute. Goodness gracious, I can't believe I just lost my train of thought. Like, I'm not gonna edit this out either, so hey, it is what it is. We do one takes over here or whatever. But what I'm trying to say, when he was at the mall or whatever, and just performing his behind off, like, it was just like really convincing. And this whole movie right here just deals with these soldiers when they have to come back home and just try to live their normal lives or whatever. And I really felt sorry for him. It was just like really sad, because you hear all the time, like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna talk a little political here or whatever. You got Colin Kaepernick out right here, he's leading everybody to take a kneel, during the anthem. And yes, I do stand with Cap. And if you have a problem with that, hey, I'm sorry, my channel is not for you then. I'm glad you're here, but I'm just letting you know, I stand with Cap or whatever, because there are so many injustices, in this movie. And I'm black, of course. I'm not just talking about black people, but so many people are so frustrated with him, everybody kneeling, talking about, this disrespects the soldiers or whatever. And what doesn't make any sense to me is the soldiers are the ones that gave Cap the idea to kneel. And I hear so many people complaining like, oh my gosh, you're disrespecting the soldiers when you kneel, and which makes no sense, because Nate Boyer, a veteran, is the one that gave him the idea to kneel. But the hypocrisy behind it is so many people that are just, spitting that bull crap, talking about it's disrespecting the soldiers, is like, soldiers are like, when they go and fight for their lives and die and come back with half of their body or half of their brains, literally and metaphorically or whatever, they are disrespected by the country that they're fighting for. They go over there and die for you, and they come back, they can't get no job, they can't get no assistance, no health care, no medical care, nothing. They're just left alone or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that really pisses me off. But to bring it back to this movie review, that's what this movie is dealing with, is like, these soldiers are going over there and fighting for you, and when they get back, they're just left to die with no help at all. It's like, it is a true struggle for them to get help, and that's just like ridiculous. Like, it is beyond me. I really don't understand it. I mean, you send them over there and you ask them to do all this stuff, and then they come back and they can't even get a sandwich, and they just treat it like crap. I mean, these people are literally mentally disturbed. And I'm not making fun of them or judging them, and they have every right to be, but they are just messed up here. They cannot manage in normal society anymore, and they're just like, please, give me help. And it's just not there. I mean, like, it was this one scene that was like, okay, fill out this paperwork or whatever, that was like this thick or whatever. That's like, yeah, it may take you about 12 weeks, but it also may take you 9 months. 9 months? Are you serious? So, like, you know, if that type of thing makes you mad, you're going to be mad in this movie because this talks about all this. And, like, my heart was broken when I was watching this. You know, I was just like, man, this is insane or whatever. These soldiers need help. Like, you know, like, seriously, you know, cut budget here, here, and here. So much money is just being wasted on stuff that we don't need in this country that can be given to these soldiers, these men and women or whatever that are dying for you. But no, they don't get any help or whatever. And that was, you know, that was like the main prominent figure in this movie or whatever, just that dealing with that. And then, you know, dealing with the soldiers with the PTSD and the acting from all the soldiers across the acting from all the characters across the board was like, it really hit home. Amy Schumer is in this movie too, as well as a grieving widow. It was surprised. I didn't even recognize her at first, but until the end of the film. But I'm used to seeing her, you know, making silly, jokey movies or romantic comedies or whatnot, or her making fun of her own self because, you know, she's considered obese by some people, you know, in this country. But, you know, she really hit it home too, because you just did not get an account of what the soldiers had to go through, but you also got a strong account of what their families and friends had to go through as well. As far, you know, I did kind of huff and puff a little bit while I was watching this movie. Because the way that the film was transitioning to scenes or whatever through certain scenes kind of knocked the wind out of you. And I don't want to use the word boring, but there was just sometimes where my interest faded because I did not know where they were going with this movie. But that's okay. And kind of towards the end of the movie, the structure of the film was a little off-putting. You know, when you have true stories that always kind of show you like a true account of the real soldiers, like they'll, you know, put up some subtitles and have a nice score in the background with the real life photos of the real soldiers or whatever. And they rush through that whole thing. I mean, that's probably one of the most important parts of the movie, you know, to really drive home, you know, what's going on and, you know, show the sacrifice that these men and women made, but they kind of just rushed through it or whatever. Like the first picture I had to after the first picture, I had to like rush and read it or whatever because it was going to pop away. And just kind of the structure, you know, the structure of the movie as a whole could have been better or whatever. But, you know, the acting was great. This guy, Belu Kowali, he's been in a few short films. He's on my radar now. I'm going to look him up. There's one movie that he did called The Last Saint. And I'm putting up the picture right now over on the left side of the screen. He looks like a badass, that red background, you know, with a shirt off with a sword or whatever. I'm going to have to check that out or whatever. He chopping people up. I want to see it. But I was really, you know, Miles Teller can act his behind off. But this gentleman right here did a great job. And he just deserves all the credit. But I really did enjoy the movie as well. If I had to rate it out of a 1 out of 10, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Yes, a 7 out of 10. But guys, that's just my opinion. Have you seen Thank You For Your Service? Or do you want to see it? Have I turned you on? Have I turned you off? Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. If you like this video, go ahead and give me the thumbs up. And if you don't like the video, that's fine. Just leave me a comment below why and still give me the thumbs up. Since you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get all the content that I have to provide. You can click the bell so it can be notified. And also, guys, check my website out. You know, it's right there. I do have written reviews. You can bookmark it. And also look me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's right there at the bottom of your screen. And I made it very easy for you guys by providing a link to all this good stuff down below in the description box. But guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning in to my opinion/review for Thank You For Your Service, directed by Jason Hall, starring Miles Teller and Belu Kowali. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion.